Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz. Barbenheimer is over, but it is time to get into fall festival season. We got the Toronto International Film Festival lineup that came out 2 days ago, and then yesterday we got the lineup. This morning we got the lineup for the Venice International Film Festival. I saw Barbie and Oppenheimer combined 7 times this weekend. I am tired. But let's just jump in. I've seen them. Thomas hasn't seen them yet, so let's talk about it. All right, so here's TIFF. We're just going to kind of look through what is in the gala presentation. So Dumb Money is here. Craig Gillespie.
Interesting choice, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. Fair Play is here from Chloe Dumont. Saw it at Sundance. It's fine. Netflix picked it up. A lot of people like it more than I did. John Carney, director of Sing Street.
Sing Street, yeah. I'm looking forward to this one. Florence Sun, yeah.
A Nickelback documentary for some reason. Lee is going here, which is interesting. So this is the Kate Winslet thing about a war photographer. Maybe it could be a thing, and we'll see who picks it up because it's still eligible to be picked up for US rights. Mexico wins.
Now this is a very interesting case, yeah. But will it actually come out after TIFF is the other question. So
yeah, I think if it's going here, it shouldn't be getting delayed, but we'll see.
It shouldn't be, but yeah.
But we know how Disney is with money.
Yeah.
And how much they hate to pay people and the strike. Anyways, got my strike shirt on again because links in the description to go support it.
Description, yeah.
Naiad. We'll see. It's another Netflix thing. There are some people that think this is possible. It's from the same directors as Free Solo and The Rescue. This is their narrative debut. We'll see.
I think some things are possible for this film. I don't think it'll be a massive contender, but
maybe actors for Annette Bening. Exactly. We got a first image over into some of the special presentations. So looking here, Anatomy of a Fall is going to be here, and there's a couple of Cannes things. Close to You could be interesting. This is actually Elliot Page is playing a role as like a trans man, like coming back to his hometown, like navigating through all of that. Could be interesting. I'm excited for it. Other interesting things. Fingernails here, I think could be potentially interesting. It's by Christos Nico. He did a film called Apples. But the cast of this actually seems kind of fun. We got Jesse Buckley in it.
Okay, interesting.
Jeremy Allen White.
Oh, okay. That was
and Riz Ahmed. So yeah.
It's that's a nice cast, actually. Yeah, that's a very decent cast. Yeah,
it's Apple TV. Apple TV has it. TV has it. We'll see what they do with it. Kate Blanchett's also producing. So
right.
We'll see what happens with it. It's apparently like a sci-fi romance thing that's a bit of a psychological thriller. So we'll see.
Okay.
Four Daughters. This was the docufiction thing that went to Cannes. Apparently, it got some good reviews.
Yeah, it was in the top 10 at Cannes for a long time before the final couple of days went.
His Three Daughters. I don't know this much about it, but Elizabeth Olsen, Natasha Lyonne, and Carrie Coon are all playing sisters. So kind of fun.
Okay.
New Richard Linklater is coming here.
Yes, I know. This is very exciting. Love Richard Linklater. Both of us love Richard Linklater. So yeah, this is definitely one of my most hyped ones coming out of TIFF.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and it's Glenn Powell starring, so could be fun. This was a thing at Cannes. Didn't get great reviews though. Kidnapped by Marco Bellocchio. La Chimera, the new Alice Rohrwacher. That did quite well at Cannes. We'll see. Neon has it, so we'll see. Last Summer by Catherine Breiler, another Cannes title. Largely, the Thief of Portrait of a Lady on Fire's French submission.
Yeah, I think that's probably harsh. I haven't seen Les Miserables, so potentially.
Monster, the new Koreeda, is coming here as well. So that could be fun. Again, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how they do out of Cannes. We also have this thing right here, One Life. This is the Schindler thing with Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, this is this one. I see. Yes. Okay. This could be potentially an interesting role for him, but yeah, I don't know. I know this might be something.
Yeah. North Star could be interesting. It's by Kristen Scott Thomas. It's her directorial debut. And she's starring in it alongside Scarlett Johansson. So potentially interesting. It's a British drama. I don't think that we know that much about it. It's about like the Navy and stuff. It's British. Yeah.
Right. Cool.
A British drama. Pain Hustlers. This is a David Yates thing.
Coming up with Harry Potter. Finally doing something different.
Yeah, it's a Netflix film. It just seems like kind of a commercial premiere.
Probably.
I think Emily Blunt is in this, but it's not going to be any worse thing. Chris Pine is directing a movie.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And you will actually see this as a theme as we begin to look through a couple more of these. Lots of actors directing stuff.
Well, I saw Michael Keaton earlier. I assumed that wasn't Michael
No,
Keaton.
that is Michael Keaton.
That is Michael Keaton. Oh, okay. So I
don't know how I skipped
stupid.
over
There's
that.
another Michael Keaton. But no, yeah, okay. That's another interesting actor.
I don't know how I missed over that, but yeah, Al Pacino's in it, James Martin's in it, Marcia Gay Harden's in it.
Okay.
So,
Interesting cast.
yeah, it could be quite interesting. It's about a contract killer who's diagnosed with dementia. So,
okay.
Pullman, Chris Pine, Rustin's coming here. I think that's pretty expected.
Pretty expected. Yeah. 100%. Can it start an Oscar campaign potentially? Viggo Mortensen as well.
Also directing. So he's directed before, and it wasn't
Yeah.
received that well, if I remember correctly. But here we have The Holdovers.
Yeah, this is one of the bigger ones to look out for. If it can do well at here, potentially it can do well as towards later on in the series. Like we're specifically looking at, I guess, People's Choice. Potentially, this is going to be one of the things in contention for it, alongside things like Next Goal Wins. Those are sort of bigger contenders that we're potentially looking for here. Of course, it could just be something unknown at this stage.
Absolutely. Then The Peasants. So this is from the same people who did Loving Vincent.
Okay. Yeah, I
be like
remember
the
this one.
painted animated thing. So actually pretty big that it's coming here. And we'll see if it picks up momentum. The Zone of Interest as well coming here.
Yep, that makes sense. Coming out can. Probably it will finally drop below its ridiculously high rating. I don't know what it currently stands at, probably 98. Probably it will drop below that, I reckon.
Probably.
We'll see how much.
TIFF, but yeah, I mean, still though. We also got Ethan Hawke and Anna Kendrick directing movies.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Like I said, there's a lot of them.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just very curious to see how they all do. Then this is also an interesting note from Next Best Picture. So because of some of the premiere statuses as they're listed as like the Canadian premiere and not like a world premiere or North American premiere, Anatomy of a Fall, Fingernails, The Holdovers, Naiad, The Royal Hotel, Rustin, Wildcat, that's the Ethan Hawke thing, and The Zone of Interest are all expected to be at Telluride. Otherwise, they would be listed as a North American premiere or world premiere. So we can all expect those to be showing up at Telluride, which will happen kind of during Venice, right before TIFF.
Yeah, I mean, it will sort of happen at the same time. So
they also
maybe premiere in one place one day and then come out the next day in another. So, you know, it's all these sorts of world premiere titles. They don't really mean that much. They're just sort of festival to just sort of put it in there advertising that we have the world premiere of X film, whatever.
Absolutely. But that is the TIFF lineup. Pretty fun overall. We'll be doing predictions later as far as awards, but I mean, really, like you have all the can titles, but the big things to look out for People's Choice, as we said, are The Holdovers and Next Goal Wins. I would be really looking at those two.
No Saltburn. I presume Saltburn would be among us.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because, spoiler, Saltburn also isn't at Venice.
Oh, okay. That's slightly worrisome.
I don't know what's going on with Saltburn. I don't know if it's not coming out.
I could potentially see that.
We don't have a trailer yet, and it's really the only one that we don't have a trailer for yet.
Yeah, maybe it's still in development.
Everything else has a trailer. Everything.
Yeah. Okay. That does fill me with some doubt that it will actually come out by the end of the year.
Right. Because, like, again, Poor Things Next Go Into. We'll see how Disney does with them. But the fact that, and Poor Things is going to Venice. So that's confirmed. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Saltburn not being here is kind of big. Also, Dune isn't going to Venice. And we can go ahead and look at the Venice thing. And, like, was Dune really expected to go to fall festivals? Maybe not, but maybe still a little bit pointing to that that report. That
I mean, it could have done because we thought like Indiana Jones premiered at Cannes. Obviously, we remember that. Premiere.
I mean, the first Dune premiered at Venice.
Exactly. These sort of commercial things do sometimes show up, but they don't always. It's not like a rule that if you're not showing up there, you're not coming out. Especially with a film in the case like Dune. But yeah, hopefully, I'm still praying that report isn't true. Just because, you know, that would be another big Oscar contender. We don't want to keep losing them. We've lost
The Color Purple,
probably. Yeah,
because we really don't want Air to get
June. Exactly. Things that maybe don't deserve Oscar nominations will start to creep in. So
yeah. But let's look at Venice. All right, let's just look through Venice. Big thing, Challengers officially confirmed it's not going. So
yeah, which is a shame. I was looking forward to Challengers, one of my most anticipated towards the latter half of the year, but it's oh well, what can you do? You know, pay your actors and writers. That's what you can do, I guess. But you know,
maybe they could do that. But let's look at Venice here. So, Commandante is the new opening night film. I'm unfortunately not very familiar. We got a new Luc Besson film, which is interesting, Dogman.
Okay.
Big thing though, Pablo Larraín's going again with El Conde. He went for his last film, Spencer, and we haven't really heard anything about this, but pretty big. pretty big.
Yeah, for
Big
sure,
thing,
for sure.
if you see right here, Ryusuke Hamaguchi is back, everybody. There were reports that he had a film and then our apprenticeship, and then that didn't end up being, apparently it was canceled.
Yeah,
But then
the
he
film
just
just
secretly made another
got
movie.
lost. Yes, which is very interesting. I mean, the film was meant to sort of premiere, okay, it was meant to be this big thing, and then it just sort of went absolutely nowhere and got a bit lost. But
So
yeah,
this
this
is
is interesting
different.
that he's back. Yeah. I mean, it's another contender Japan has to deal with now. They've got Monster, they've got How Do
Japan
You
is
Live,
loaded.
they've possibly got Perfect Days. I mean, that one's a bit more question mark. I don't know. Is that confirmed to be a Japanese release? I don't know. But
Yeah.
either way, they're going to be playing around with a lot. So this is just another one to add to their selection for international feature. It'll be very interesting to see which one they do actually go for. But yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully this is big. I mean, I absolutely adore Hamaguchi's work. I mean, obviously Drive My Car is great. Also, if you haven't seen Wheel of Fortune and Fantasy, it's also really fantastic. Also, this movie's short. It's like an hour and 40 minutes.
Okay, nice. And probably more accessible than Drive My Car. Although, yeah, as you say, I love Drive My Car as well. My favorite film in that Best Picture lineup of
Agreed.
2021. So yeah.
Okay, so then we got Ferrari from Michael Mann is going to be showing up here. Pretty big.
I mean, this makes sense. It's neon, so they're going to be trying to push this for festival runs. Yeah, makes sense.
The Killer from David Fincher's going. So Netflix again, they're kind of throwing stuff all over the place. You see Maestro is on here as well from Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Like it looks like, you have Naiad, heading to TIFF and also hitting Telluride. Then you assume Maestro will be here and potentially at Telluride in New York. And then like the Killer's here. You expect that to maybe show up at New York. So it's interesting.
No. I'm convinced Netflix have no idea what they're doing with awards campaigning. They just have so much stuff to release that they just eventually will get something in at the end, and they just sort of throw all these things. So this just reminds me of last year when they didn't. They're just searching for what works, see what
pops up.
Exactly, right. And like theoretically, any of these could be the one that ends up being an All Quiet on the Western Front.
Because also May December was confirmed to be like a special presentation. Like, or
yeah,
I think
that's another one that
New
they're
York.
just sort of pushing out there, seeing if it tracks, seeing how it plays. So yeah, these are all definitely contenders. I think if
Absolutely.
it's Netflix and if it's at a festival, watch out for it.
Yeah. Memory also hitting here from Michael Franco. That was also in the TIFF lineup. And then Ava DuVernay has a new film.
Yeah, I assumed this wasn't going to be coming out by the end of the year, but it seems that it is.
Yeah, and like, great. Yeah. So this is Origin. It's starring Anjanou Ellis, Niecy Nash-Betts, and John Bernthal, as well as Vera Farmiga, Nick Offerman, Connie Nielsen. Like, it's a big cast. And yeah, so this is the thing. It's adapted from a nonfiction book about the caste system and about like, social classes and stuff. And she's turning it into a narrative film. I'm really intrigued by this project. I think that Ava DuVernay is like a really, really interesting director. And I'm really excited to see what she ends up doing with this because it seems like a really fascinating project.
Yeah, it does sound interesting. I mean, I'm only familiar with Ava DuVernay from Selma, so I'd say I'd be hard pressed to call her an interesting director off the back of that. But so I'm not too familiar, but sure. I mean, the concept does sound interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I know. I'm excited about this project. I'm excited about it. And I do not believe it has a distributor yet. So that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Priscilla's going as well.
I mean, this makes sense. I mean,
makes
what
sense.
do we expect for this film? Like a full festival run, yeah.
So just looking now into the out of competition fiction section, we got a new Harmony Korine film, which is interesting. Agro Drift with a 1. Harmony Korine is a weird filmmaker.
Right, I see. Okay.
Are you familiar with
Harmony Korine? I'm not familiar. I have no idea. No, but
okay. Harmony Korine did Spring Breakers.
Okay.
As well as the Beach Bum.
Right. Both films I've heard of, not seen, but interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So this is going to be a really weird project. So the film is going to be starring Travis Scott, the rapper.
Okay, the rapper. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be shown in infrared. It sounds really weird and kind of visually interesting. Another fascinating thing, William Friedkin is back, everybody. The Kane Mutiny Court Martial. It's about a naval officer on trial. It stars Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Clarke, and Jake Lacey from the White Lotus season 1.
Okay, interesting. Oh, yeah,
it seems really interesting. He's back after like a decade-long hiatus. We'll see if it's anything big, but like, I mean, it's William Friedkin, so like,
yeah, potentially.
I mean, the man's won Best Picture, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We unfortunately have Woody Allen and Roman Polanski films.
Yeah, I mean, they're still making films. That's fine if they still want to be making films. I don't know if Venice should be given a platform. That's up for debate. I don't think it is as clear cut as they shouldn't be a Venice at all. But it's about personal preference. Like, where do you draw the line? I guess so.
Yeah. it doesn't feel right, I guess. I don't know.
No. I mean, do note how they're neither are making American films. I think that does
Yeah.
suggest something at least.
Yeah. So then this is kind of interesting one. So we got a film from Quentin Dupeau, I think is how you say his name, Dali. He's a
Yeah.
really weird, kind of interesting director. He's had a couple of films go to Cannes before, I believe. And it's about a journalist talking to Salvador Dali, and I don't know, could
Oh,
be kind of
okay.
weird and interesting. Hitman, the Richard Linklater, is
There we
also
go.
coming
See
here.
again.
Pretty big,
Yeah,
pretty cool.
which is nice. Really getting all those festivals in.
Yeah.
Potentially Telluride as well. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but it looks like it'd be going everywhere. We also have a new J.A. Bayona film, The Society of Snow. J.A. Bayona has had a couple of things get like kind of close to Oscar thing, like A Monster Calls to Build Some Buzz. I mean, he had The Impossible, which
Yeah.
Naomi Watts would get a nomination for. So like he's had some films get in and around. I don't know that much about this film or if it will really be something.
I mean, it's not an American film, which is something.
Yeah.
Right?
So we'll see. I mean, he obviously also did Jurassic World 1.
Well,
So, like,
yeah, exactly.
but
I think most people know him probably from that. It's important to
right.
highlight his other film.
Yeah, but no, it's a Spanish language film which he hasn't done in a while, honestly, since his first film, The Orphanage. So, could be potentially interesting. And then we also got Wes Anderson's short film, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. I know that big name directors don't usually happen at the Oscars for short films, but maybe there's a narrative of like, let's give Wes Anderson an Oscar.
Potentially.
Especially with Netflix behind it, and they're great at campaigning short films. Like,
Yeah, like this will probably end the end of the year being the most notable short film, the most seen short film, which is always good in short film categories, like big name director or not. If your film is seen by a lot of people, it's highly more likely to get nominated. So, that would definitely be an advantage. And if it's starting here, that is a good sign of at least, hopefully, its quality, if it was selected by Venice. So, potentially.
Also, last thing, the jury here looks great. We got Damien Chazelle, we got Jane Campion, Mia Hansen-Løve, Martin McDonagh, Laura Poitras, among others who I'm unfortunately less familiar with their work. Gabrielle Magnetti Schucci is how I want to pronounce her name. And I do know Santiago Mitre, Argentina 1985.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Sala Bakri as well. So like pretty fun jury here, especially with King Damien as the president here.
Leading.
So, yeah, but those are the lineups for Venice and TIFF. We'll go a lot more in-depth in our thoughts a bit later and go over predictions probably in later August, right before the festival start. But Venice is starting August 30th, I want to say. Telluride starts September 1st. TIFF starts September 12th. I mean, it's going to be all back-to-back. We are going to be busy.
Yeah. It's going to be an exhausting month. So, take this month and a half break while we can, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but make sure you stay tuned for all that. Like I said, we'll probably do predictions in like the week before then as far as what we think will be the big contenders there, especially after I do a bit more research on a lot of these films. But could be fun. I mean, as we say, the big omissions, obviously Challengers being delayed. Saltburn, we don't really know what's going on. I mean, they could just be skipping festivals.
I mean, yeah, or it could be one of those things that like premieres in New York, which is a bit later on, potentially. But I'm not sure. I'm not confident that it's coming out this year, I will say.
Like, we don't even have an official image from it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Much less a trailer. Like, I don't know. It feels shaky whether that's actually coming out. Plus the strike. Like, I don't know. And
we could lose another one.
As you mentioned, Dune. We'll see. Again,
I'm doubtful about that one. Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't entirely expected to come out here, but still, it's not showing signs of life. So we'll see. Hey, everyone, Futures over here to just talk about a couple of the things that we were maybe missing here at the festivals that we didn't think to mention in the moment. The Bike Riders is a massive one. The Jeff Nichols film. It's a Disney film, and I don't even know if I feel confident that it's coming out at this point, to be honest. Similar to Saltburn, we have nothing on this film. We don't have a single image, a trailer, especially with the SAG strikes going on and everything. I don't really know if this film is actually going to come out. The Iron Claw is another one that maybe could have shown up here. I think that could make sense for a New York or Telluride debut when we get those lineups. But still interesting then that it didn't show up. Strangers as well. I think we maybe could have seen here. the Andrew Hay film, but that could make sense if Searchlight wants to hold on to it for later release. Two that kind of fall in the same thing, like the Nickel Boys and the Boys in the Boat. I don't know if these are gonna be a thing. They feel like something that would go to a festival and then get hype and then just wouldn't end up actually happening. And I think the fact that they aren't going to festivals does give me some skepticism as to whether they are actually going to be coming out this year or not. Also, Freud's Last Session. This is an SBC thing. It's Anthony Hopkins. He already has one life going to TIFF, so maybe not. I do feel like this could be going to New York, though. Or Telluride. I feel like this will still show up at least somewhere. SBC is usually pretty good at getting their films out. Quite exciting lineup. I mean, we got a new Friedkin film coming. I'm so hyped about the new Hamaguchi. Like, that was such a big surprise.
Yeah, no, yeah.
As well as like a bunch of actors directing, which could be fun. Ethan Hawke, Anna Kendrick, Chris Pine, Michael Keaton, Viggo Mortensen. Like, some really.
It doesn't always turn out when actors turn directors, but sometimes you get some pretty good results. So it'll be interesting to see which are able to establish themselves as competent directors.
Absolutely. But that is it for our conversation on the TIFF and Venice lineups. We'll be talking about, obviously more of this stuff over the next couple of months, as mentioned. But until then, thank you everybody for watching. Stay safe. You can check our links in our description, as well as some links to support the strikers for the WGA and SAG. But until next time, goodbye.